Ladies and gentlemen, on Republic, we ask the questions that nobody asks. That's why you like us. We ask those questions because we know why the corporate media won't ask those questions. They don't have the guts and they do not have the intention. They don't want to upset the apple cart, you see, ladies and gentlemen. They are status quoists by nature. Left to the corporate media, they would play a game of regression and take the country back. That's why nobody in the corporate media is asking one question. The biggest and most high-profile case of corruption in this country, even bigger in terms of impact than National Herald, for which Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi should have been in jail by now. Even bigger than that is this Cashgate, when there were crores and crores and crores of rupees, wads of currency, 15 feet high, found in their rawest form, half burnt, half unburnt, inside an antechamber of a sitting, ladies and gentlemen, High Court judge's residence. What more proof do you need? You would imagine that this case would be big. It is big. You would imagine the media would make a big deal of it. We did. You would imagine that the Supreme Court would take a position on it with a great deal of cajoling. They did. You would imagine, ladies and gentlemen, that maybe Parliament would shake because of it. It has. But we would not imagine that the circumstances would be so intense and so controversial that even Jagdeep Dhankar, the Vice President of India, caught in the middle of this political melee, taking sides, would choose to be a Congress party mole and then be forced to quit, which is, I think, what has happened. But in the middle of all this controversy, this massive and gigantic controversy, ladies and gentlemen, when justice is itself on trial, when the system which is built to uphold the law is seen to be shielding its own, the question the nation wants to know tonight is this. And this is the question you should ask. This system, this corrupt and rotten system, has ensured that there is still no FIR in a case the whole country is talking about. A case which has shaken the political firmament, which has shaken the Supreme Court of India, which has exposed the hypocrisy of our criminal justice system, which has led to a near revolt in bar associations across the country. A case where today the Congress and the BJP are in a rat race to take credit to impeach the judge. But is the impeachment of the judge what we want? Or is it the prosecution of the judge which we want? For impeachment, ladies and gentlemen, is only a mask. Impeachment, I'm sorry to say this, is only a preset game of political credit taking. Impeachment is about chest thumping. Impeachment is decorative, is ornamental. And impeachment doesn't mean anything if there is no FIR. And why am I saying it? Because, okay, this man has lost all credibility. He's not going to be a judge. Great. But what happens after that? Does he face the law? Does he face a police complaint? Does he face an FIR? Does he face a charge sheet? Does he face a criminal investigation? And does he go to jail, ladies and gentlemen? Jail. In this country, I was told I would be taken to jail for calling Sonia Gandhi by her real name, which is Antonia de Maino. That was seen to be big enough a case to carry out a prosecution and an investigation against me. But in this case, where there is a 3 Supreme Court judge investigation, which has come to incontrovertible proof against the gentleman, there is no FIR. What does the investigation say? It says the cash was found, I quote unquote. It says the room was in active control of Justice Varma and his family. It says the burnt cash was removed in the wee hours of the 15th of March. It says, and I quote, the misconduct is serious enough to call for his removal. But yet, ladies and gentlemen, yet the nation wants to know why there is no FIR which has been filed 81 days after the submission of the in-house report of the Supreme Court. The nation wants to know what happened to the eyewitnesses and the electronic evidence, including the 67 video we ran on Republic, corroborating the presence and the attempted removal of the cash. And Justice Varma, sitting and watching this tonight, must be saying, why is Arnab even picking this up? I'm almost getting away. And I know, Justice Varma, you think you will get away. You think, but we'll ensure you don't. Because you are going to go among the Supreme Court and challenge whatever is in the report. You might even have the guts to challenge your impeachment. But can you tell me, is it true or not, that 10 witnesses corroborated and observed half-burnt 500 rupee currency notes in your storeroom? When the Chief Justice of India, B.R. Gawai, has recused himself. Ladies and gentlemen, no FIR has been filed. The Chief Justice has recused himself. The Chief Justice. And the most difficult question, nobody in the corporate media is going to ask the Supreme Court of India. But let it be remembered that when everybody went silent, Republic spoke. And the question I would like to ask the honorable judges of the Supreme Court, with the greatest of respect to you, I want to ask you, why are you, honorable judges, setting the wrong precedent by prioritizing impeachment over criminal prosecution and an FIR? An ordinary citizen of this country has spent 50 years in jail because of the failure of the criminal justice system and the failure of the judicial system. He has come out after 50 years in jail. His wife has died. His children have died. He went in, ladies and gentlemen, when he was about 50. He's over 100 and he's come out now. What is the story he will tell when he will say that I lost half my life for a false case? But in a case when a judge is caught with his hands in the cookie jar, the whole system gets together to give him an honorable impeachment, but no prosecution. This country will be free and independent only when a judge faces the prospect of going to jail for a case like this. And if, despite what I have said today, the FIR is not filed, then I will go on record tonight and say the people of this country have every right to say they have no faith in the criminal justice system or the administration of justice.